Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. SimplySavannah here and welcome back to Red Spring Wildlife Park. So you're probably looking at this now thinking it looks a lot different than the last episode. So I'll just do a quick recap because we're doing something a little bit different this time. So first episode we went through and we created this pretty cool little statement piece in the middle. So this is the koala enclosure. And then on the second episode we came over here and we did the emus. So what I'm going to do is I've done quite a lot in the background, so I'm going to split this episode up into two parts, and it's going to be more of like an explore. So this is what we did last episode, and then I'll just have a quick run through, ignore the litter on the floor, there is janitors around so they should be picking it up. But what we're going to do is I'm just going to bring you up to speed with what I've been doing in the background. So we started work over here after the wallabies, and then I went kind of over this way, and then I went on to a pretty cool enclosure at the back over there. Okay, so hopping over to the little penguin enclosure. So this is the next animal in the lineup. So I really wanted this kind of like two-level enclosure. So I wanted like a small pool here, so you can kind of imagine this would be like a nursery pool for the babies. And then we've kind of got this like view in. I know it's not 100% full, but they're only a very small species, hence the name. So I wanted it quite shallow. And then I've also built this little view-in platform up here as well. So it gives some quite good vantage points to actually look onto the little penguins. They can traverse all of this area as well, which is really, really cool. I know when I was recording this, they had a couple of here we go, look, they had a couple of babies. So let's just have a quick look at these. I'm hoping they jump in the pool, but I don't think they will. Oh, no, maybe not. That's nice of you, mate. But yeah, they've had a couple of babies, to be fair, so they've settled in quite nicely. I was a bit surprised because these are an Oceania animal, and this is set in that region, but it keeps saying that it's too hot for them, so I don't really understand that. So I've had to go around and add some coolers. I've kind of put one in the middle here, one up here, one there, and then I've also lowered the pool temperature using a regulator as well, which doesn't really make sense to me, because if these guys are from Australia and that kind of area like New Zealand, I would imagine them to be okay with the heat, well apparently not. But let's just grab this gift because we are playing in franchise mode. So yeah, that's the little penguin enclosure. I quite like it, it's nice and simple. It's something that you'd typically see in a zoo, and this little viewing platform up here is pretty cool as well. I've not really seen them come up here often, but they kind of go, oh there's one coming up now actually, the little baby that we just saw I think, so hopefully. He's waddling up, so he'll probably have a little swim around in here to be fair, which is cool. He's thinking about it, I don't think he's actually going, well, he's having a little drink. Okay, but I'm pretty sure the babies can swim. I don't think I've seen them swimming yet, I've just seen the adults. Oh, moment of truth. Just having a paddle by the looks of it. They're pretty cool, these are. I love the animations with these. But yeah, that is the little penguin enclosure. So it's quite big to be fair. I probably could have done it potentially half the size of this. I don't want to zoom out too much because I've got stuff that's going to be in the next episode. But I've got the underwater feeder as well. But obviously you can kind of imagine like being stood here, you get quite a good viewpoint. Oh, all the babies are coming up now. But you get quite a good viewpoint of these. I have seen them on these little pallets as well. But obviously the best viewing would be down on the ground level. Oh, I wonder what that was, and it's money. Thank you. But yeah, the little penguins one, quite happy with it. It's nice and simple. And then just to kind of separate this bit, because obviously these don't negatively impact the guests, but I kind of wanted it to be a separate little bit. So off the back of the wallaby walkthrough, I've just done like a little path just down to this solar panel, just to power up to where we're going to next. You might have just seen the sign, but we'll be going there in a second. So this is just like a little walkway. I've got some toilets and stuff here. I've used I believe the lion signs these are, of the workshop. And then we come over to the dingo enclosure. So I wanted to adopt Yorkshire Wildlife Park's kind of like low fencing, but kind of sunken into the ground, like what they do with the polar bear area there. And then, yeah, we've kind of just done like just a typical kind of environment that you'd see dingoes in. I have actually named one of these, so let me try and find, there he is not. So we called him Oscar Porstry, which is, if nobody watches F1 you're not going to get the reference, but it's a Australian F1 driver. His name's actually Oscar Piastri, but I thought, how can I make it work? So we went with that. This was the first one we released into the paddock, and I think that is a baby one as well. Yeah, so that's the baby. They've had a couple by the looks of it. But I've added loads of enrichment bits around here. I made these little huts. They're exactly the same ones in the wallaby den as well. And then in here, so you know me, I don't really do off-show areas, but with this one I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a cool off-show bit. So obviously when the keepers and the research people are in their offices and stuff, they can see and monitor them if they need to. And then through here we've just got like a little pool. This one's very me, it's very basic in here. But you know me, I'm more of a outside person. And then just kind of did this little elevated roof here. And then just kind of filled it. I wanted this enclosure to be quite big, because obviously I imagine these are going to expand quite rapidly. So obviously I want them to breed. Jesus Christ, what is going on with that? That needs fixing. So we will call a mechanic to come and sort that out. But that is done for, that is completely done. It's even sparking at the back, Jesus. Oh my god, I've never seen one get that bad. Oh, is it already? That was fast. But yeah, that is the overview of the dingo enclosure. But yeah, I had a bit of trouble with this, to be fair. I don't know if it's because the fencing was too close to these rocks, but it kept saying that they could jump from like here to here, which to me seems a little bit unrealistic. I don't know if any animal would actually make that jump, because realistically it's not, I don't think that's doable. Unless they had like a 100-mile-an-hour run up or something, I don't actually know. Oh, let's just have a look at this one playing. The animations for these are dead cool when they start playing with these rope toys as well. But yeah, that is the dingo enclosure. I do need some names for some of the dingoes as well. If you want to name any of the little penguins as well, let me know, I'm happy to do that. But the dingoes, they're more easier to name, I believe. And then on to my favourite one, you might have just seen it in the corner there. So I've built, so this was quite a good suggestion way back on the first episode from that Aussie guy. I've built like a Tasmanian Devil rescue centre / hospital. So I've got 2 families of Tasmanian Devils. And again, I've used the, I'm sure it's Lion that made these. I'll have to double check, but I'm 100%, well, 95% sure that he made these. And they are on the workshop as well if you want to use them. But we've got these 2 kind of like sunken enclosures, so you get quite good viewpoints from where you stand. And it's pretty much like they'll take them in, they'll research on them, because they do have this kind of life-threatening disease which is like a tumour. And it's quite obviously causing them some issues and stuff in the wild, so there's quite a lot of rescue centres that will help the ones in the wild. So I kind of wanted to imply that here and have that as the main kind of stance for this. But yeah, we've got 2 separate families, they are separated, and you can actually walk through this this Tasmanian Devil Rescue Centre. I wanted it to look as like kind of outback as possible, so I kind of went with like that dusty colour, obviously using all the Australian signs and stuff. Kind of like a funky roof on this. And then we've got these like little info boards here, so these would kind of explain the facial tumour disease. And obviously guests can donate to that cause as well, which is quite good. But yeah, we haven't got too many of them, to be fair. I think overall we've got 1, 2... Yeah, so we've got 4 in here, 2 in there and 2 babies. So those 2 are breeded. I'm sure we have breeding pairs in here as well. So we've got female, male, yeah. Female, and I'm sure the other one's female as well. Yeah. So we've got a male and 3 females in here, and then male and female, but they've bred quite quickly, to be fair. So let's just have a quick little look in here. So I've not really decorated these inside, because this is just like their kind of living quarters. I've done the one-sided glass on here. Obviously this is where they sleep, this is where the keepers will come in and sort everything out that they need to. And it's pretty much the same on the other side as well. I added these little bits here because I thought these looked quite cool, and then I added these Australian fences in as well. And then also we've got the little ramp here. This was an absolute nightmare to make because I had to line it all up and make sure that it was traversable for the keeper and the animals. But yeah, that is the Tasmanian Devil Hospital and Research Centre. I'm quite happy with that. It works out quite well. And then down here as well, this is going to be like if any of them do develop that disease, they can take them here, treat them, and they can also obviously research it a little bit further if needed. But for the kind of scenery around here, I just went really quite natural with this one. I know it is in the outback and there is obviously foliage here, but there's gonna be some aspects. It's more implied realism, I guess. It's not 100% realism. But for this as well, I've just used the in-game barriers, sunk them down and recoloured them. So I think the actual in-game ones are kind of like a light grey, and I just kind of coloured these to more of like a sandy kind of thing with this, just to get that kind of colour that they've been in the desert and the sand's kind of worn off on them a bit. But yeah, this side here, obviously it's a lot smaller than this one, but I am super happy with this. I think it's my favourite thing I've built in the park so far. Actually, might not be. When we get on to part 2, I might show you the next one, but this is definitely one of my favourites. I do want to do more stuff like this because I quite like the sunken into the ground element. I think it works really well. And then we'll save that bit over there because that's a workshop item, and then we will just whiz over to the opposite side. And I don't think I've shown this just yet, but I've added this little decal underneath the pool, so I think it looks quite cool. It's just a little water feature here, just something to look at when you're coming in. We've got these little cassowary statues and this. I don't really like this. I wish you could stop this moving and just have a still one, but I guess it is what it is. It's already there. And then I made this kind of like modern looking, well, I say modern, kind of like old school modern, if that's even a thing. I made this little red kangaroo enclosure. The idea was to actually have the path on here with the fencing, but the terrain, it just wasn't playing ball, so I just had to do it like this. And it's nice and simple. Got a very small family in here. Again, another research project. Obviously in Australia there is quite a lot of road related incidents with the animals over there. And oh, they've had a little baby, look. Let's have a look at the baby. So this is Daku. Pretty cool. But yeah, they have quite a lot of road related incidents with kangaroos and other animals in Australia. So I thought it'd be quite good to highlight that and have it as like the kind of like credentials of this park that they take in, obviously injured animals, ones that have been involved in road traffic accidents, just to give them like the best life that they can. And then I've also got the monorail completely sorted, and then we've got something really cool in this big dome. This is going to be quite a big project, so I'm going to save that for a completely separate video. And as well, I have done speed builds for all of these, but I'm just going to leave them out of this episode. If you do want to see them, I can upload them separately. It's just, I kind of find with speed builds now, I'm not really enjoying doing them and voicing them over. I prefer just kind of showcasing what I've done. That's just kind of similar to what I've been doing with the planetzoo content as well. I've just kind of been building in the background and then showcasing what I've done, because I feel like I can talk through it easier, because I know what I've done, I know where I'm at, and I can get to certain points, and it's just a lot easier for me personally, and it looks a lot more appealing, I think. But I think we're going to leave that one just there. So we'll just kind of imagine none of this up here is there, and none of that's there either. But then we've also got a little enclosure down here using one of the new DLC animals. And then next episode we'll also take a ride on the monorail, because I think that'd be quite cool. But I'm going to leave that one here. If you haven't already caught up with this series, I will leave a little card, well, I'll leave multiple cards throughout this video. Please subscribe to the channel, it's quite cool. We've got Planet Zoo and Planet Coaster 2 on the channel at the minute. And if you've got any name suggestions, drop them down below, as well as a like as well. Cheers guys, thank you.